And welcome to the Sports Show. Mike Max, Patrick Royce, Trent Tucker, and Sid Hartman all in studio for you. An all-star cast, an all-star lineup. Sid, what do you got here?
This belongs to Starkey. You have a commercial on Starkey.
You're borrowing it.
This helps you here.
Yep.
But I think you ought to talk about that after the commercial.
Okay, well, I just want to see, because they're sitting there, I want to get to it. Let's start.
He's in the TV production now.
The Timberwolves, man. What'd you think?
Well, Flip's done a fantastic job. I don't think any team has had a coach or a guy making drafts that's done the job he's done 3 years in a row.
We'll see.
One of the best players they got is Muhammad.
Muhammad.
Yeah. And when he was averaging 13, 14 points a game until he got hurt, I think they'll be pretty good. I think you never know how good the guys are, like in football, until they put the pads on.
Yep.
You don't know how good they are. You don't know how good the guys are until they put the basketball shorts on. Shoes on.
The high tops.
And get the action. But in all the years I've been in this business, I've never heard, I talked to a lot of people during the basketball before the draft, guys rave about this center from Kentucky.
Okay.
I never heard some people, Michael Jordan, of course. But I'm talking about a big guy. I mean, talk about a big guy.
Let somebody else talk here. Patrick?
Well, yeah, it was, he comes off as an impressive kid, and I like the fact that they say he can shoot the ball and go outside and play all around, and I think that he's going to be terrific. It is interesting. They do seem to have some depth now. You got the 2-point guards. Then you got the off guard. You got Levine and Kevin Martin. And then you got Wiggins and Shabazz play the same. Then you got about 5 different power forwards if Garnett comes back. And then you got this kid, Towns, and Jang inside. They got some depth. I think they now... Getting all those young,
can they play?
Well, they can play, but getting all those young kids to compete in the Western Conference and win a ball game is going to be interesting.
Trent?
It would be very tough. I think the major concern for them, you talk about bringing in so many young players, you want to see how well they can gel together very quickly. But also, what has hurt this team over the last couple of years? Their health. And I think that at some point in time, they're going to have some of their better players stay healthy for a large portion of the season. I'm talking about Ricky Rubio and Nikolai Pekovic.
Yeah.
And the other thing, continuity. Let's have continuity. Let's stop changing 5 guys every year. This should be your nucleus.
Yes.
Spend the next 5 years with the top 10 guys and see what happens. I'm so sick of this.
If they can do that, and that's contingent on them making it a culture where guys want to stay. Sid?
I talk to Mike every once in a while. He really thinks that Jones has a great future. He thinks he's a great leader. He said where he surprises him that when you talk in a huddle and stuff like that, he just thinks he'll be pretty good.
I spent
he
yesterday.
Also loves Okafor, by the way.
I spent yesterday with Towns and his parents over on the north side of Minneapolis, not far from where you work. And his parents are impressive. His dad, the high school coach, his mom in the middle of it. How much do you look at that family tree? You come from
It plays an important part because, when these young players are taking this big step for the first time, you want to make sure you have a foundation behind you. When things become a little bit tougher for you, you got somebody that you can rely on to help you. And for all the guys who make it to this level, they have somebody in their corner to help them to get to this point.
I think it's an improvement for Flip on his Washington situation. I wrote about this the other day, that, his last job, he had 2 guys with guns with him. One of them's in jail for 23 years, Crittenton and Arenas. So it's nice to get guys who enjoy life and aren't criminals. It's fantastic.
But let me ask you this. Is it easier to coach young guys because they'll listen because they don't know, or is it easier to coach veteran guys because they do know?
I think it's easier to coach veteran guys, especially when they've been in your system for for a period of time because they understand exactly what you want them to do, and they can police the younger players. And it's much easier for the younger guys to fall in line when the veteran guys are doing what they're supposed to do.
At one time, they had terrible chemistry in that clubhouse.
Yeah, one time, most of the time.
Last year was good.
Well, they didn't have anybody on the floor.
I'll tell you what, Garnett will be great for those guys, and he's definitely going to play. He shows up at that Mayo workout all the time, and he'll be a great influence, I think, on those players.
What did he do for him this past year, do you think?
Pardon me?
What did he do this past year for him?
Nothing.
Showed him how
He was here.
Showed him how to tank.
He was good. He did nothing for him as a player, but as a tutor, he did a lot.
Because the team stunk from the time he was here on.
Well, they had all the people hurt. They had nobody.
Okay.
That's why Trent makes a good point. You got to play, you know.
You gotta
Shabazz,
play.
Everybody keeps telling me how good Shabazz is. I'd like to see him play more than 35 games.
Yes, that's right.
And Rubio and Pekovic.
Yeah, well, Pat, forget that.
Yeah, that's over.
That's done.
Oh, Flip.
You might as well take that $36 million, put it in a big bonfire and burn it.
Yep.
Talking to Flip, he says you see nothing until you see the guys from Europe. He says he is something. He was the MVP in Europe of all basketball.
Bellica.
And they really say he can play.
Well, now we're talking about how you're going to give these guys
Too
minutes.
many players.
Levine, man, how are you going to get Levine minutes?
I love Levine as a personality.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World. Go to BobbyandSteve'sAutoWorld.com for huge savings on everything from convenience store items to everything under the hood of your car.
Quality. It's the result of shared values. The joy found in an honest day's work. Respect for true American craftsmanship and the need, not the want, to get things right. It's the result of remembering your roots, being forever humbled by how far you've traveled and forever hungry to push on further. Quality is a result. Quality is who we are. Cambria. Family owned, American made.
You're watching CW-23.
Imagine you didn't have a car payment this summer. Would you take a vacation or go on a shopping spree? Well, at the Kia Summers on Us sales event, we'll make your first 3 monthly payments, plus give you 0% APR for up to 66 months on the Sporty Optima and high-tech Forte, so you can have your best summer ever. Your first 3 monthly payments on us, plus 0% APR for up to 66 months. Hurry in today to your Kia retailer for the Summers on Us sales event.
Carton staplers, now. Bin liners, now. Casters, now. Switches, cables, flashlights, now. Now. Stretch wrap, valves, boots, now. Pan truck, LED lights, wet dry vac, now. Circuit breakers, fall protection harnesses, torque wrench, fire extinguisher, rocker switches, extension cord, mixing propellers, bleeded air filters, walkie-talkies, now. What we need when we need it. Granger, get it? Got it? Good.
A pitcher who can paint the corners is known as a Rembrandt. At GMC, we get why people love that kind of precision. After all, in everything we build, that's exactly what we deliver. This is precision. This is GMC. Now get over $10,000 total value on specially equipped Sierra SLE models in stock the longest. Welcome to the show.
Main Street is filled with hopes and dreams. The only thing you need is the right partner. The beacon of light that shines, that says we are in this together. That is Beacon Bank. Locally owned and community committed. They understand what you need. And they are your personal answer. Your friend in business and in life. Allow the folks at Beacon Bank to be a part of your life because they make dreams come true. Beacon Bank, it's a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Looking for a nice, big, juicy rack of ribs,
Fabulous chops, huge steaks, and the Buddy Bowl? Then J.D. Hoyt's is the place for you. Hoyt's opened in 1983 And Mike Andrews and his partner John White have kept this Minnesota tradition at the top of the food chain. Managing owner Pat Montague gives us a tour.
At J.D. Hoyt's, enjoy a relaxed atmosphere, great food, friendly service, private dining room, second-to-none happy hour, and great outdoor dining, just blocks from the new ballpark.
Located at 394 in North Washington, locally owned, nationally known, Hoyt's.
J.D. Hoyt's downtown Minneapolis. Stop on by. I wish Pat well with that new artificial knee, and have some chops and steaks and seafood while you're there. Welcome back to the Sports Show. Mike, Max, Patrick, Royce, Trent, Tucker, and Sid Hartman. Sid, LeBron James outside of his contract. Is that because he wants to play somewhere else or because he wants to get a new coach?
Well, one thing I can do on the internet, on the computer, is I got favorites. So I can look at the Cleveland plain dealer.
Yeah. What'd you learn when you looked at the Cleveland
That's about the only thing I can do with it. And he's talking about coming back, and you don't know, they don't know what Love's going to do. He's got a bad back, according to Cleveland plain dealer.
Love?
That the club is worried about that back being a problem.
You know, LeBron opts out, he gets an extra $400,000. He probably needs it. You know, but they're all waiting. Nobody's going to sign anything more than a one-year contract anywhere, because if he signs the maximum this year, he gets $126 million. If he signs it next year, he gets $170 million.
That's worth waiting for. Let him stay healthy.
Yeah.
That's the reason to wait, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about coaching, though, Trent, because they talk about that LeBron's not on the same page necessarily with this coach, even though they went this far this season. How does that work when a star player doesn't like the coach? What happens next?
Well, at some point in time, the organization will make a decision. Let's go back to when Magic Johnson was playing for the Lakers back in the late 70s and early 80s, and all of a sudden Paul Westhead takes over after they won their first championship, and he wanted to run the conventional offense, but Magic Johnson wanted to get right up and down the floor. He went to Jerry Buss and said, I can't play this way, I need to be traded.
Paul who?
And Jerry Buss said, don't you worry about that. You just keep playing basketball. We're going to take care of this situation for you. So if the organization decides that, you know, if it comes down to David Blatt or LeBron James, LeBron James is going to win that matchup every day.
Is he better than Michael?
Who's that, LeBron James?
Yeah.
No.
So what should a head coach, watching what you watched, not just with the Knicks, but with Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson, how do you handle superstars player? Well, what's the way that you get them as a partner?
Well, Phil Jackson, the one thing he had to do when he took over was to get Michael Jordan to buy into the triangle offense. But also he had to convince Michael that the triangle offense was going to work for him as well. We know that Michael Jordan the year before was a 37-point scorer. And he felt like that, you know, by himself most night he could win basketball games on his own. But Phil Jackson let him know that if he works within the system, allow his teammates to help him out, he can become better, but also now he can become the NBA champion that he wanted to be.
I heard somebody, I think it was Williams. Is it Jay Williams who's on the panel for ESPN? Is it Jay?
I think the Duke guard that played Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, they were somebody said, what is the secret of the triangle offense? And Jay Williams said, Kobe, Shaq, and Michael Jordan.
Call it the triangle, call it whatever you want, huh?
You can do anything you want to. Hey, Kurt Rambis proved here it doesn't work too good when you...
Sure sounded good at the first press conference, didn't it?
Yeah, it sure did.
Moved down to the Wild. The Wild had their draft, and more importantly, Patrick, they signed Devin Dubnyk as expected before free agency.
Well, I don't know. Last week, Louis Nanny was on the panel here and said, I wouldn't give him more than $2.5 million for 3 years. $7.5 million a year, $7.5 million total. Well, they gave him 26. I'd say the 6-year deal and what, $5 a year the first 4 years, and then it gets cap friendly. But you know, it's a goalie. You don't win without a goalie. You might as well pay him.
Sid, what do you got a theory on this?
Huh?
What's your theory on this? The Wild signing this goalie?
Well, I think the Timberwolves had something to do with that. I think that when our paper, I've never seen our paper go crazy about two guys like they would about Jones and the Kentucky guy, and all of a sudden they're sitting there, and Louis told you they weren't going to get him, they were going to lose him, and Louis knows as much as anybody, and Louis said there's no way they'll give him $26 million, but they gave him $26 million because I think they have to say with the Wolves.
I don't think, but Chuck Fletcher, I mean, they've done well enough. They've kind of dominated the Wolves over the last several years.
I think the Wolves will be pretty good competition to them next year.
Maybe, but we said that last year.
That's the one
time.
problem he's been unable to solve, though. That's the one thing that Fletcher's been unable to solve, and so this kid looks like the solution. He's not a kid, he's 29, but he looks like the solution. So.
Just think the last year at this time,
Louis spends the Wild's money like it's his. That's his problem. I don't know. He's a shareholder or something. I don't know what the hell Louis.
Or a general manager at one point in time.
Louis, it's 2015 and goalies are worth money.
But you know, the last year at this time, he's trying to find himself. He's happy to be a backup in Phoenix. Isn't that sport?
Yeah, but, you know, he wasn't a terrible goalie in Edmonton until his last year there, and then he got punchy. But I think that what worries me about the Fighting Wild is they don't have a star. They don't have that guy that lights up the arena. You know, they got a lot of good players, but I think when you look around the West, who's the star? Who's the star?
Trent, along those lines, when money's given out to players, are teammates watching that really close? Are they just happy somebody gets it, or are they really mad if they think somebody got more than they deserve?
Well, you know, how the Wild came together toward the end of the season, they made that great regular season run, and also they bring in the goaltender who helped save their season. You know, they want this guy to come back.
Did save their season.
And they believe that he deserves to be paid. They're happy about that.
But is there a lot of jealousy amongst players? Are they watching really close as to what this guy next to me is getting?
Well, they want to make sure that the guy who is getting the big money has earned the right to get that money. Now, if you're just paying the guy just to pay him,
which happens in the NBA more than anywhere else.
Sure, some guys can be upset about that. But what Debbie Dudnik was able to do for the Wild coming down the stretch, those guys are happy to have him back in the fold.
One more theory.
You wrote something the other day about the age of Parisi, the age of the...
Yeah, they got all those guys in their 30s. But, Maxie, I got an answer for you on your, do guys worry about who's getting the money? It's not any different. There are two kinds of people in the world. Let me tell you that. This is my theory of life. Good people who like it when good things happen to others, and bad people who don't like it when good things happen to anyone but themselves, and that's the same way as it is in a locker room and everywhere else in life.
I thought you were going to say the players have no problem. It's the wives that watch it close.
Well, that's theirs. Then if you got bad wives, that happens.
Ever wonder, why do I hear but not understand? Scientists at Cambridge University discovered the answer. Inside your cochlea, there are thousands of tiny hearing hair cells. Poor hearing occurs when regions of these hair cells die. Amplifying a dead region with hearing aids makes you hear worse, not better. The result of this study is a hearing clarity breakthrough. Using standard test equipment, dead regions of your cochlea are identified. Then, a new type of frequency-shaping hearing aid is programmed to bypass the dead regions. Only your usable hearing hair cells receive amplification. Brilliant. A local study is underway. 100 citizens with hearing problems are needed to receive this testing and then wear the tiny device for 10 days, recording your results. Call now to see if you qualify. Volunteers may keep the product at a special discount if they desire. Don't miss this opportunity. Call now.
Join us for the 7th annual Challenge for Children's Paintball Big Game on Sunday, July 19th. Challenge for Children's is the largest third-party fundraiser for the Children's Hospitals and Clinics of Minnesota. Not only a great day to play paintball, but also a great day for family fun. For more information and to register to play, visit challengeforchildrens.com. You must be 12 years or older to play, but there will be games and fun for all ages at the event. Register at challengeforchildrens.com.
Thanks for watching CW-23.
Hi, I'm John Hines. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World is the place you should come for car washes, oil changes, tires. As a matter of fact, anything and everything under the hood of your car. You're in great hands at Bobby and Steve's Auto World, where serving people is the most important part of their business.
Schedule an appointment online for your spring car care special. Get an oil change, car wash, tire rotation, and $5 on your World Rewards card for only $39.95. While there, visit our convenience store or enjoy something from our Chevy grill.
Welcome back to the Sports Show. Mike Max, Patrick Royce, Trent Tucker, and Sid Hartman. Here's another question that really pertains to any of these teams. But I was watching Danny Shays, who you played against. He did a book or something about why guys actually go broke after they made millions of dollars. It's pretty interesting. Why do guys go? You've handled your money well. You've been prudent with it. Why do so many guys end up broke? What is it, 60 or 70%, 5 to 7 years after?
Well, there are a lot of reasons why guys can lose their money. There are so many different distractions coming to these young people. You have family members pulling at you. You have friends pulling at you. All of a sudden, now you think that you can go out and make certain investments. You may not know all the ideas or the things about that investment that you're making. You trust somebody else with your money. All of a sudden, you wake up one day and it's gone. So there are a lot of different things that can happen to you that can cause guys to lose their money.
Buy apartments, right? Buy apartments.
Agents like Mike Madonna, his agent
Tim Duncan
broke him.
Yep.
Yeah, Tim
I
Duncan
can't
just
think
said
of
he
other
lost a bunch
agents.
of
Right?
money.
Yeah.
These agents can kill guys.
Not necessarily an agent, but whoever it is that you trust if you trust the wrong guy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's
Carl
the
Allen.
money handler more than the agent.
Yeah, whoever the guy is handling the money, yeah.
Carl Allen was another guy had an agent to kill him.
Let's move down to the Twins. They lost a series to Milwaukee today, Patrick.
Yeah, you know what? I would have one hard and fast rule if I ran a baseball organization. When you slide, you go feet first. You don't slide into first base, Nick Punto, and you slide into bases feet first. And if you slide on your belly, you're fined $100,000. Buxton, reaching for the base, the kid can't stay healthy. So he's Rubio. You know,
You're right, because we've only seen it here. This is the first time, but it's been the minor leagues the whole time.
Last year he got 3 different injuries. So who knows? You know, he might never be a great player because he keeps getting hurt.
You agree with that? Do some guys just get hurt easy, or is it the way they handle their body?
Yeah, there's some guys who just break down. You know, you look at some of the great players of any sport. Those guys seem to find a way to stay healthy for a very long time.
Hang on, Sid, you've been chomping at the bit on this one.
Well, Phil Miller, who I think does as good a job on baseball.
LaBelle's pretty good, too.
Huh?
LaBelle's pretty good, too.
Pretty good, but I like Phil Miller wrote
Like Phil Miller better, he doesn't talk as much.
What's the problem?
I said, go ahead. I said, you like...
He wrote a piece the other day about positioning of players. And the funny thing, a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to Mauser, and he's talking about how much time they spend on where guys hit the ball. And I'm starting to think now one of the reasons that pitching staff has been so much better than last year is just that one thing, where they're positioning the players and where pitchers are getting people out.
You mean they flat out are out
they
scouting
weren't getting them
people
out a year ago.
because they're literally doing a better job of scouting.
But the pitching's better all over baseball, and the shifting is taking place. 30 teams are doing what the Twins are doing, and I do think that that's probably taken 10 points off the league-wide batting averages.
Is Dozier
Best stat I ever saw 2 weeks ago, the National League was hitting at a higher percentage than the American League.
Really?
Without a DH.
Impossible. Is Brian Dozier an all-star?
Pardon me?
Is Brian Dozier an all-star this year?
Well, he's about as good a second baseman as they've had for a long time. The guy's doing everything. Fielding, hitting home runs, driving in runs. But Kansas City's going to have, like Cincinnati many years ago, they're going to have 7 guys start an all-star game. And that guy's going to go broke paying all the bonuses.
I got a hunch it's going to be like the 1960 presidential election in Illinois when JFK badly needed the state, and late at night a lot of votes came in from Chicago, and I got a hunch you're going to see a little twist here at the end, and you're going to have about 4 Kansas City starters.
Do you think Detroit will come back and overtake Kansas City?
No. Kansas City's just a better ball club. It's more solid.
Sydney?
Well, Kansas City has got a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Houston is the most amazing thing. Like today, they beat the Yankees again. I mean,
they own the Yankees. It seems like they've owned the Yankees.
They own the Yankees.
Yeah.
Like you said, whoever was the farm director or the scouting, what a job they did putting the top players on the field.
They
Them in Kansas City.
They don't worry about when they're hitting. They don't worry about the shift either, because they either hit home runs or strike out. They don't care.
Would you
They're
build
going
a
to
team
strike
like
out
that?
2,000 times.
Would you try to build a team like that?
I still think they're going to fade, but we'll see.
I mean, but do you think if you swing for the fences and just let Adam Dunn's of the world have that at the end of the day you end up with enough 3-run homers to win a...
I don't think so, but I'm old, so maybe I'm wrong.
Isn't that in essence what Calvin tried to do?
No, I think he kind of stumbled into it. But
You think Houston can hold up?
no, but I might be wrong. I don't know.
Well, if you like what we've talked about so far, when we come back, Sid Hartman talking about soccer. Stay with us.
If you guys could go on a free shopping spree anywhere, where would you go? I'd go to the grocery store. Pizza, ice cream. I'd go shop for clothes. You know where I go? I'd go to Ticket King. Ticket King! At Ticket King, you can buy great seats for the Vikings, the Wild, the Timberwolves, and of course the Twins. We love the Twins! Yes, this is where I go. Vikings, Twins, Wild, Timberwolves, Gophers, theater, and concerts too. For details, go to ticketkingonline.com. Any ticket, anytime, anywhere. It's the real thing. It's Ticket King. Right, Dad?
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
That's for sure.
You're watching CW-23.
Join us for the 7th annual Challenge for Children's Paintball Big Game on Sunday, July 19th. Challenge for Children's is the largest third-party fundraiser for the children's hospitals and clinics of Minnesota. Not only a great day to play paintball, but also a great day for family fun. For more information and to register to play, visit challengeforchildrens.com. You must be 12 years or older to play, but there will be games and fun for all ages at the event. Register at challengeforchildrens.com.
Main Street is filled with hopes and dreams. The only thing you need is the right partner. The beacon of light that shines, that says we are in this together. That is Beacon Bank. Locally owned and community committed. They understand what you need. And they are your personal answer. Your friend in business and in life. Allow the folks at Beacon Bank to be a part of your life because they make dreams come true. Beacon Bank, it's a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender. Beacon Bank, responsive, reliable, reassuring. Go see Bob Weiss, the gang over at Beacon Bank, and live the American dream just the way they do over there. They'll help you get there. You just need the right partner. Welcome back to the sports show. Soccer, women's soccer specifically, has taken over the world.
I'll answer your question.
How do you see what happened the other night? Were you surprised? Did you have a good feel going in? What did you see?
Soccer?
Yeah, the women's soccer game.
I have no feeling about soccer. I'll tell you this, though. I kept on saying Glenn Taylor wasn't going to, his foundation, his kids own the team.
Right.
But what it looks like right now is that the Minneapolis City Council is getting so much pressure that before July 1st, I predict that they will give the Pohlads and McGuire and
Taylor,
they will give them what they want, what they need to build a soccer stadium on the Market Square.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they played in Target Field for a year.
Really? Would they allow that?
Yep. Larry DeVito's on board. That's what counts.
He is
Larry
on board for
DeVito's
that.
on
He
board.
says he can keep a ballpark in shape. And
Well, Yankee Stadium today, 48,000 people to watch the Red Bulls and the New York Football Club.
How does it look the next day? Do we know? I mean, how quickly can they transform it?
They had the Kicks play out at
Met Stadium.
Yeah, they first of all, they had to sweep up the dead bodies out in the parking lot, from everybody who died of alcohol
I
poisoning.
thought that was a long... How is soccer doing? You're the athletic director of the Minneapolis City Conference. How does soccer do in in the city?
Soccer's doing very, very well. It's a popular sport.
High participation.
And now we're going to start a middle school soccer program this fall. So it's really, really growing in the public schools.
Well, the immigration of folks from other countries has brought a lot of soccer to Minneapolis.
Yes, indeed.
And it's an easy sport to play. We're now at that juncture of the show. Let's move it down. Sid, your closing thoughts.
My closing thought is that they will get the soccer stadium and it'll be in Market Square, and the city council will okay, or they'll work out some deal that they can put the thing together.
Just parking meter money alone should cover that. See you next week, everybody.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing. And Bobby and Steve's Auto World. Go to BobbyandSteve'sAutoWorld.com for huge savings on everything from convenience store items to everything under the hood of your car.